Good afternoon. My name is Larry Cliven. I'm the founder of both Judicial Watch and now Freedom Watch. I'm the chairman and general counsel currently of Freedom Watch. I'm a former federal prosecutor. And I'm engaged in the defense of Cliven Bundy, that brave rancher and his family out in Nevada. They live in Bunkerville. They've been ranching that land for 150 years. And there was a dispute with the Bureau of Land Management as to whether or not they owe the Bureau of Land Management money for grazing fees. The Bundy family feels that they do not. And while they were willing to pay the grazing fees to the state of Nevada, who they believe owns the land, not the federal government didn't take no for an answer. And with regard to how the government then took no for an answer, it was the corrupt, mafia-connected Senator Harry Reid who inserted at the Bureau of Land Management his hand-picked goon to conduct a raid on the Bundy ranch. And when that happened, it happened under the administration of Barack Obama. The lives of the Bundy family were threatened. The sister of Cliven Bundy, Margaret, was assaulted and thrown to the ground violently. His two sons were tased. His dog was viciously kicked and harmed. And many of his cattle were killed, particularly the bulls, who you need to be able to create more cows to ranch and to have a livelihood. Many were killed and buried in a secret mass grave. People throughout the country came to the defense of the Bundys in terms of peaceful protest, but they saw what went on at the ranch, and therefore they came armed legally under the Second Amendment of the Constitution to protect themselves from being harmed as well. Well, what happened after that? Cliven Bundy made some politically incorrect statements. Barack Obama threatened him at a White House Correspondents' Dinner. We're going to play a little bit of that video during this YouTube. We've done that before, but I want you to see it because you can just see how vindictive this former president was. And ultimately, 2 years later, Cliven Bundy and 8 others were indicted by the federal government by Obama's hand-picked Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, who had the same kind of animus towards Bundy for a lot of reasons that Obama had himself.
Haven't seen somebody pull a 180 that fast since Rand Paul disinvited that Nevada rancher from this dinner. As a general rule, things don't end well if the sentence starts, "Let me tell you something I know about the Negro." You don't really need to hear the rest of it. Just a tip for you. Don't start your sentence that way.
This case is going to trial right now, and there's a judge that sits on this trial, Judge Gloria Navarro, who was handpicked by Harry Reid. Perhaps not a coincidence. In fact, no way that was a coincidence. She wound up with the case. And she's made a number of prejudicial rulings throughout the first phase of the trials of the 19 defendants. Cliven and his 2 sons haven't been tried yet in that court. Some of the sons were, in fact, indicted as well in Oregon for another peaceful protest where one of the protesters was killed, but none of the government people were, and they were acquitted. But we need your strong support here because we're going into trial. Now, I'm doing this in my private capacity, so please go to clivenbundydefensefund.org. clivenbundydefensefund.org. We need to hire more lawyers to defend him. So far, Navarro has not let me into the case. I'm fighting with the courts on that. I'm going up to the Supreme Court to ask them to order that I come into the case. We need help for that appeal, but we also need to hire additional counsel in this case because, frankly, it's a big case, and Cliven faces life imprisonment by a federal government that's out of control, that used excessive force, that wants to destroy him, not just because they have an animus towards him, but in fact to send a message to all of you that we should never peacefully use our Second Amendment and First Amendment rights, free speech, right to bear arms, to defend ourselves against the government. And while President Trump is sympathetic of Cliven Bundy, the fact is that you have this deep state. Obama Justice Department lawyers are still involved, and in fact they're proceeding ahead to prosecute. And this simply is just not right. It's not American. It's very similar to what King George III would have done in the days leading up to the revolution. So Cliven Bundy needs your support. It's going to be a 2-3 month trial, perhaps even longer. It's very expensive. So please go to clivenbundydefensefund.org and contribute. This is a private defense fund. Give your gift to Cliven Bundy. It's not just for him, it's for all of you. God bless you. God bless America. God save America. Thank you.